In today's news, Bangkok extends restrictions but allows for limited dining. The final vote over the fate of Thai Airways taking place soon, and Brits told to skip vacationing in Thailand this summer. Details on these stories coming right up. Sawasdee krub, you're watching Thailand News Today. This show is supported by our Thaiger legend community, with our latest addition being Patrick O'Connor. Thank you very much for your support. Now, if you'd like to be a Thaiger legend as well, hit that join button on our channel page. All right, on to the news. Today's high infection report stems from more positive infections emerging from Bangkok's prison system. In the past 24 hours, Bangkok and Thailand's provinces have accumulated another 9,635 infections and 25 COVID-related deaths. Digging into the details, 6,853 of today's total is from Bangkok's prisons. The three prisons are Thonburi Remand Prison, Klong Prem Central Prison, and the Bangkok Remand Prison. Thailand's total number of COVID-19 cases is now 111,082 since the start of the outbreak in the country. The Bangkok City Hall has announced an extension of temporary closures of public venues in Bangkok until May the 31st. But restaurants will be able to remain open for a limited number of customers for eating until 9 p.m. Now, takeaways can continue up until 11 p.m., and Bangkok's public parks will remain closed in the meantime. Over the weekend, the government changed the zoning of some Thai provinces, downgrading 2 of the former dark red provinces. There are now only 4 dark red zones, including Bangkok, Samut Prakan, Pathum Thani, and Thonburi. Phuket and Chiang Mai have been downgraded to orange zones. There's now a new arrival regime in Phuket. Everyone arriving on the island by land or by air must either have proof of vaccination or have a negative COVID test from the past 24 hours. Up until yesterday, people arriving in Phuket without a negative test or proof of vaccination were given a rapid antigen test on arrival. A large construction camp in the Laksi district of Bangkok is to be locked down as a result of a new cluster of COVID-19 infections. 86% of those living in the camp have tested positive so far. It's understood that the camp is owned by Italian Thai Development. It's the latest in a series of infection clusters in the capital since the beginning of April. According to the findings of the Disease Control Department, the Laksi camp is crowded and residents have had to share eating spaces and bathing facilities. The Thai Prime Minister is waiving the wearing of face masks for speakers during parliamentary sessions and meetings inside the Parliament building. But MPs are only allowed to remove their masks when actually speaking. The Prime Minister's mask-off edict comes into effect from today and includes local administration meetings. Last month, the PM was captured in a government photo of him chairing a meeting without his mask. He was fined 6,000 baht for this momentary lapse of face mask protocol. Someone's salty. The British Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, is telling Brits to bypass countries that are designated as amber, including Thailand, for this year's summer holidays. Other amber countries include Italy, France, Spain, Greece, Vietnam, and Cambodia. He's asking instead for Brits to vacation at home or to choose one of the 12 green-labeled countries, such as Portugal, Australia, New Zealand, or Singapore. But many of these green countries are not currently accepting tourists. Those Brits who insist on visiting Thailand face many obstacles, including a certificate of entry from the London-based Thai embassy, health clearance, and COVID insurance worth at least 3 million baht. On top of all these conditions, you get a 14-day self-paid quarantine on arrival, along with restrictions for relaxing at beaches in the kingdom. Other Southeast Asian countries are also being ruled out for now due to restrictions and the expense of traveling at this time. Phuket officials are serious about disease control orders banning parties and gatherings with friends, especially when alcohol is involved. They're so serious that they're searching for 4 foreigners who were seen drinking beers at a restaurant in Rawai at the far south of the island. Authorities raided the restaurant yesterday after a complaint from a woman who works for the local district office. She was out on a campaign pushing for locals to wear face masks when she noticed that some people were sitting at the Roxanne restaurant having a beer. Photos as well as a video was sent to the police showing a group of 4 foreign men and 2 Thai women sitting at the restaurant together. Police and district officials showed up to the restaurant, but apparently the men were seen driving off on motorcycles just as the team of 10 officials arrived. The beer was still left unfinished on the table, also another crime. Officials took the owner of the restaurant and 4 of the employees to the Shillong police station. The owner is facing charges of breach of the provincial order banning the sale of alcohol and allowing the consumption of alcohol on the premises. Drugs valued at nearly 100 million Australian dollars have been found hidden in containers on a Thai cargo ship docked in Sydney. It's understood the drugs were discovered inside electric barbecue grills and water heaters. The Thai vessel was intercepted by police officers at Sydney's port, with authorities searching 62 large cardboard boxes after inconsistencies were noted in the consignment paperwork. Officers found over 300 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine with an estimated street value of 94.5 million Aussie dollars. A final meeting for a vote on the Thai Airways debt restructure program is set for this Wednesday after being postponed last week. Meanwhile, a source close to those managing Thai Airways' debt rehab plan says the state is not obliged to provide a bailout for the national carrier. The acting president for Thai Airways says no such commitment has been made, and the government is not obliged to take on the role of loan guarantor for the airline. Last week, representatives from the Finance Ministry attended an online meeting between the airline's debt rehab planners and its creditors. However, he said the ministry's presence at the meeting is not an indication that the Thai government will provide a bailout. A number of creditors are concerned about the carrier's ability to secure a loan without assistance from the Finance Ministry, but the acting president insists that should the rehab plan be judged financially viable, loan procurement will not be an issue, even with the airline's huge debts. And finally, there's a great story involving 2 Americans, a Thai-Taiwanese businessman, rubber gloves valued at 93 million baht, and an Israeli security goon. It would take half an hour to explain it, so we'd suggest you head over to Thaiger.com to read about that one. And with that, you're now up to date on the Thaiger. Have a great start of the weekend, and Sawadee krap.